What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be learning the song Someone New by Hozier. Real quick before we get into it, I would like to ask that if you find this guitar tutorial helpful, that you please consider subscribing. That would really mean the world to me. Now let's get into it. You are watching Logan's Lessons. We start the song on a G major chord. To play a G major chord, we're going to place our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A, our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the high E. Then we go to a B minor chord. To play a B minor chord, we're going to place our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, our 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the D, our pinky right below that on the 4th fret of the G string, and our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B. Okay? Then we go to a C major. C major, we're going to play with our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D, and our index finger on the 1st fret of the B string. Last chord we have for the intro of the song is a D major chord. To play a D major chord, we're going to place our 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B, and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Okay, so we have G major, B minor, C major, D major. Now let's talk about the strumming pattern. We start on a downwards on the first beat of the measure. 1, like that, okay, on the G major. Then on the 3 and, we come on an up strum on the B minor chord. So 1 and 2 and 3 and, like that. Do that with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then on the 4 and, we have an up strum on the C major chord. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, like that. Do that with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then after that, we hit the D major chord on the next 3 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G on the 4 and again. So down. And you can kind of see how that's a loop there. After the first down strum, you're playing the G as well on the 4 and. Then in the verses, we add this cool little slide up diddly thing, where after you go through the G major, B minor, C major, D major, we then wait for a second and we slide up so that our index finger lands on the 7th fret of the A string. And we go to an E minor chord shape with our 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the D, our pinky on the 9th fret of the G, and our middle finger on the 8th fret of the B string. So you start with a down pick on the A string when you're sliding up, and then you have an up strum after that once you finish out the chord. Okay? We have a D major chord. To play a D major chord, we're going to place our index finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and we bar across the 7th fret of the D, the G, and the B strings with our ring finger. Like that. Do that with me. Now in context. I'll do that one more time. Do that with me. Then right here we have the up strum on the B minor to the C major. Like that. So that whole little verse chord progression will sound like this. Do that with me. You do that twice for the verse. Then we're into the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus starts on a C major 7 chord. To play a C major 7, we're going to start by barring across the 3rd fret of our A string downwards towards the floor. Then our 3rd finger is going to be placed on the 5th fret of the D string, and our pinky finger on the 5th fret of the B string. Okay? Okay, you play that downwards, and then you play upwards. So okay, then we go down to a B minor, like that. So you have down, up, Okay, then we slide up just like we did up to the E minor in the verse. Okay, this time instead of going to a D major though, we're going to go to a D minor chord. So, and the D minor chord is going to be basically the E minor chord shifted down 2 frets towards your headstock. Your first finger being on the 5th fret of your A string, your third finger being on the 7th fret of your D, your pinky finger on the 7th fret of your G, and your middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string. So you have this. You have C7, B minor, okay, and then you go to a C major chord. Down, up, okay, so we have C7, and that gets you into the chorus. The chorus is actually just the same as what we did in the intro. We're going from the G major, B minor, C, D, G, B minor, C, D, G, and you just keep repeating that. Then you have another verse, which is the same as the first verse. Another pre-chorus, which is the same as the first pre-chorus. Another chorus is just what we just went over again. And then we're into the bridge. The bridge starts on an A minor chord. To play an A minor chord, we're going to start with our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, our third finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and our index finger on the 1st fret of the B. Strum that downwards. Then on the we go to an E minor chord, which is our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and our third finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. We have an up strum. So you have like that. And here we have some hits. The hits start on a C7 chord, which is like the first chord of the pre-chorus. Do down, down. Okay, then we go down to a B7, which is just the same exact shape, down a fret. So okay? And then we go to an E minor chord, which is the 2nd chord of this bridge. So, okay, so we have this like A minor, E minor, C7, B7, E minor. And then the second half starts on the C7 to B7, just like we did, but without the hit. So C7, B7, and then E minor 5 times. Okay, so the whole bridge will sound like this. So after that bridge, we get into this like chorus that's not really a chorus because we use different chords, but he's singing the chorus over new chords. Hope that makes sense. We start on an A minor chord, which we let ring out for a little bit. Then we go to an E minor. It's like each of these chords gets 2 measures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do that A minor to E minor twice. 2, 3, 4, E minor, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here we go to our C7. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here we go to a B minor 7. To play a B minor 7, we're going to bar across the 2nd fret of our A string downwards, put our 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the D string, and our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B. We're going to just build up on it. Down, 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 down. And then we go to a D major for the second half. So this is just for one measure. To the D major chord. After that, we have like an outro kind of thing where we're just playing the same as the chorus. That is how you play Someone New. If you have a song request, comment it, dude. If you wish to be notified of future videos, hit that bell. I sincerely hope that you're well. Please do me a favor and hit that like button blue. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe too. I hope this video has been a blessing. You've been watching Logan's Lessons.